Assalamualaikum and greeting to all. We are from Group 1. My name is Tengku Muhammad Azizul bin Tengkulah. My ID number is AA18162. So today we're going to present on the topic of the impact of online learning towards mental health. So we proceed to the introduction. COVID-19 has rapidly and dramatically altered our life, changing our life. Unfortunately, teenagers and young adults are among those who may be the most affected as a result of the virus. We have been forced to adapt to the hard situation, and the important things that need to be highlighted in this topic is the change of learning style or method. Current learning style method is using online platform. So while the safety of students and teachers is of the utmost importance, online learning can have an impact on the mental health of teens. We explain how online learning have affect them. Many schools and colleges continue to rely on visual learning to keep students and teachers safe. Okay, this is the example of implementation of virtual learning. There's no in-person classes. The student cannot anymore communicate with their friend in person. The learning feels more like a burden, and they cannot enjoy the learning process together with their friends. Also, there are no graduation ceremonies. They also see the ceremony as the reward for their struggle during the study. Hence, no ceremony somehow affect their motivation. So, before we go further, let me tell the definition and the concept of conditioning and learning. Conditioning in physiology is a behavioral process whereby a response becomes more frequent or more predictable in a given environment as a result of reinforcement, with reinforcement typically being a stimulus or reward for a desired response. Conditioning is a form of learning which either given stimulus or signal become increasingly effective in evoking a response, or a response occur with increasing regularity in a well-specified and stable environment. The type of reinforcement used will determine the outcome. When two stimuli are presented in an appropriate time and intensity relationship, one of them will eventually induce a response resembling that of the other. The process can be described as one of stimulus substitution. Okay, next is learning. Learning is the alteration of behavior as a result of individual experience. When an organism can perceive and change its behavior, it is said to learn. The array of learned behavior includes discrimination learning, concept formation, problem solving, perceptual learning, and psychomotor learning. Association, conditioning, imitation, insight, and imprinting represent other types of learning. Next, why we need to study this behavioral science issues. Okay, the first one is the finding of this research would further be used for emphasizing more on the improving the quality of online lectures. Thus, most of educational institution and government as well have to take initiative in providing all those facilities to the student which are necessary for the learning to become better. This study also can help to reduce the mental issues related to learning environment. It can also help the student to have a better academic success. Many students found that their mental affect the performance of the student and the lecturer itself.
Hello and good day to Dr. Noradila. My name is Cyprian Arlaudi. My metric number is AA238, and I will presenting about the analysis of the issue, where there are two issues related to online learning toward mental health. The first issue is on how students adapt on the new method, which is the online class, where due to the pandemic, most of the students all around the world are not able to attend any classes physically into the classroom. However, a new method of learning is used by college and school all around the world to convey their lesson to the student. However, the new method, which is the online learning, is very difficult for some of the students to adapt with the method, where it can lead to mental health. This is because most of the students all over the world are more comfortable with the conventional method, which is face-to-face method. The second issue related to online learning toward mental health are internet and technical issue. As we know that during online class, internet connection is very important for every student so that they can attend the online classes. However, it will be very challenging for those who lives at remote area where the internet connection is very poor, where it can make students feel stressed during online classes. Other than that, students are also facing technical issue during online classes, such as not having a proper device to attend the online classes. Outdated laptop or smartphone will need to be replaced with new device to enter Google Classroom, Teams, Zoom, and other software to attend the online classes. Next, I will talk about the factor that influence the issue from behavior and psychology perspective, where there are two factors. First is internal factor, where internal factor are a factor that comes within a person, such as physical, gender, age, emotion, spiritual aspect, and so on. The internal factor that can lead to mental health problem of a student is emotion, where based on our research, mental health can lead to bad behavior such as skipping classes, illegal drug use, and even suicide among students that can seriously affect college student ability to study and their life quality. This is why students all over the world need to have self-awareness for their own emotion so that they can prevent from having a mental health problem. Next is the external factor, where external factor are factors that come from the outside of a person, such as human and social structure, living status, educational background, job types, technology, phenomenal, and so on. Most of the time, living status are the external factor that lead to student mental health, where students from poor family having trouble in terms of financial problem, where it can lead to stress when not able to pay the tuition fee on time, and also to buy new device to attend the online classes. Although there are many scholarships available for students to apply, however, it will be very difficult for those who recently enrolled at any college or school. And next is the theory and principle of psychology or behavior science related to the issue, where the theories that related are social cognitive theory, where social cognitive theory are theory that teach us on how we learn from the behavior of others. This theory was developed by the renowned Stanford psychology professor. Based on this theory, it provides a guidance on understanding how people actively shape by their environment. In specific, this theory enables us to do observation learning, where we can make the process of learning desirable and undesirable behavior by observing others, then reproducing learned behavior in order to maximize rewards. Thank you.
Okay, next we're gonna proceed with the impact of online learning to individual, society, and also to this field. For individual, it can increase the anxiety and stress. As we know that in the traditional classroom setup, student can follow the schedule during school days, when it is time to wake up, time to go to school, time for class, time to do homework, lunchtime, and also interact with their friends and attend extra activities, extracurricular activities. It will be never the same with online learning. The second one is it can affect their academic performance. Staying focused on online is quite challenging. Separating the home life and class time, not following a routine schedule, the distraction at home can cause the student not to able to concentrate well with all their classes. As a result, they tend to procrastinate and set things aside. Then the deadline are missed. This can cause pressure, stress, and anxiety to both student and also their parents. Not to mention that this not only affect the student, but online learning also affected the teachers itself. They cannot teach as effectively like they teach in the face-to-face classes. It is not their fault, but it is the online learning method itself. So for society, the first one, it may lead to family and community disruption. Online learning does not only affect the student but the parent itself. Parents now have to become an educator, tutor, getting involved more with the kids' work to help them learn and maintain good grades. They already burdened with their own problem. It is quite exhausting and it can cause high level of stress. It may increase for more serious family problem. The second one is youth and criminal justice system. Without adequate community services and without any extracurricular activity, many of our youth end up in criminal justice system. Students who cannot manage their stress well may involve with other unhealthy activities, as they think it may help them to feel better, but it is not. The worst case is they may also involve in crime. So the last one is for behavioral science field. This issue help this field actually to have more understanding on the basic behavioral process. The mental health issue due to online learning make people realize that it is important to come up with a reliable and valid methods for assessing this basic behavioral process as part of clinical diagnosis. So the second one is to have a better understanding on how mental health and their treatment affect the abilities of individual to adapt with it. They can use the method from basic behavioral science to understand how specific rehabilitation and other intervention technique improve specific types of functioning. Not only that, but also develop intervention that focus on improving functioning in addition to reducing clinical symptoms. Thank you.
Hello, I am Muhammad Haris bin Muhammad Iskandar Zulkarnain. My ID number is AA18076. So for the next topic is the conclusion. This online learning can cause fatigue to the students. Students will have a feelings of exhaustion after long Zoom classes or video conference calls. During an online class, there is information overload plus facing the screen for long periods is mentally draining. It is more challenging for students to learn new information. And even though they just sit in front of the computer, they feel like they are physically tired. Virtual learning fatigue is real, and it may lead to anxiety and also stress for both students and professors. Next is it can affect the academic learning. In traditional classroom setup, students follow a routine schedule during school days. When it's time to wake up, time to go school, time for class, lunchtime, to interact with friends and attend the extracurricular activities. It is never the same anymore with online learning. Staying focused on online classes is a challenge. Separating home life and class time, not following a routine schedule, the distraction at home, it can cause the students not to be able to concentrate well with their classes. As a result, students tend to procrastinate and set things aside, then the deadlines are missed. After that, parents and families disruption. Online learning does not only affect the students but parents as well. Parents have now become proxy educators, tutors, and are getting more involved with schoolwork to ensure their kids learn well and maintain good grades. How can a parent tutor the subject if it's something that they are not good at? How about work from home moms and dads that are getting overwhelmed with their own job, but at the same time, they have to assist their kids with the online classes? It is really exhausting and it can cause the high levels of stress. Next, for the solution, we need to set a positive tone at home. Parents need to try to avoid stress and anxiety by setting a positive tone at home. This means avoid outbursts of anger, talk in a soft tone, and not putting too much pressure on themselves and also their kids. Next is to have a designated work or study space. Pick a spot at home with lesser distractions so you can concentrate on work or school. This way you can be more focused and productive. Choose a quiet area, place separations, and impose a rule at home not to disturb during work or school hours. This way you can set a boundary and be less stressed by distraction. After that, we also need to taking breaks. Taking breaks from the hustle and bustle every day is a must. If you are feeling tired of your work, take a power nap, meditate, go outside for a while and take a deep breath. Take a short walk and clear your mind. Do not force yourself to meet deadlines if it means lashing out to your loved ones. If it's not a school day, set the books aside and take time to enjoy the weekend. Have the movie nights with your family or spend quality time outdoors. You and your family deserves to enjoy happy moments because all of the hard work you do. And the last one is to encourage healthy habits to yourself. A way of taking care of mental health is to encourage healthy habits. This means eating well, following a regular sleep schedule, getting enough physical activity, and taking care of your physical health. By following healthy habits regularly, you will notice an improved mood, increased energy levels, and overall better mental well-being. So that's all from our group. Thank you.